I'm going to take the under on an hour today.
Yeah. I hope we get to a game 3 that maybe one of them has already won too. Maybe he might put the blindfold on for just 1 star
Yeah,
or something. That'd be
just for
pretty cool.
fun. It's kind of funny. He also runs 120 star, and he got a new PB recently. I think it was just days ago, and less than twice as long as the blindfolded 16 star run, 147. So, is that useful analysis? I don't know.
It's something to keep in your mind,
Yeah.
especially if you know, the future of Zilkan here. He definitely wants to be a big name in the Super Mario space, so he's working hard, getting his name out there in all different categories, which is good. It's kind of like even these days you see a lot of people that maybe focus on 16 star. A lot of people getting in 70 star, 31 star has been hopping up a little bit here as a kind of a hype category. So that's kind of interesting. So many ways to enjoy this game, but today we're enjoying it in the 16 star variety.
Yeah, and the 120 and the 16 star are different enough that, you'd think, as is the case with a lot of games, like the different kind of speedrun categories, you get a lot of overlap. You get a little less here. This is such a competitive game, and 16 to 120 are so psychologically different and mechanically different that you actually don't have massive overlap sometimes between the top runners.
Yep. And 16 stars, I think, the perfect race length and games. We see both the runners popping off with the Lakitu skip right as a good way to start. Just a good way to get feeling good about your run in an early way. And look at this divergence happening already. We got the LBLJ coming from Zhilkan and Sunnard having nothing to do with that.
I mean, this is the kind of thing you would guess based on the difference in PB alone. These are the kind of things you would look for, one of them doing LBLJ, one of them not, and not just that, not just doing it, but nailing it.
Yes, very quickly there. So we'll get to see Sunnard here doing the bomb clip here. It does not get on the first attempt. Gonna respawn the bomb and come back and try it again. Haven't been watching Zhilkan. How's he doing in these reds?
Really good. I thought the camera choice was a little weird for a second there, but he kind of righted the ship, so to speak, did something a little more traditional. Either way, this is where you really see the difference in PB, is not so much LBLJs, which, some do, some don't. It's kind of like a safety thing, too. But the movement in open space like this, like in the Dark World or Lava or whatever, like, this is where you can usually guess who the more experienced player with the better time is, just from the fluidity of that movement.
There's so many different. I've been doing a lot of study of this level just because it's a level you see a lot, obviously, and it's just to start the run. Bowser in the Dark World, red coins is like one of these stars that there's so many different things to watch for and what kind of pace they're on. In the end, the difference is very slight, but there's different cycle names and stuff. It's a really interesting stage, probably becoming my kind of most interesting stage to watch as we get Zhilkan here on his first attempt at throwing Bowser into a bomb here.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a right answer for this question. Ooh, Sunnard misses the star there, falls hard. It's going to cost about 6 or 7 seconds, though, for another attempt. Let's see if we can get this one. He just does. Yeah, I mean, so that kind of Bowser stage there, the Dark World or whatever. If I had to pick one little section of the 16-star run to try to guess how good someone was, that might be what I would pick. It would be one of my first choices, at least. Obviously, that's not good enough. There's a million other little tricks. But if you need something that's like shorthand, where the skill tends to show up, that's one of them.
That's probably a smart way to think about it. And here we go. Sunnard here, trying to get that Candleless here.
And even the slow version is going a little slow here, but I don't know. Okay, yeah, all right, recovered.
He got in there. Most important thing is grabbing it.
Yeah, you'll take it. After that one miss, again, it was just 6 or 7. And look, some of these mistakes are much more costly than others. Sometimes you miss something, it's 2 seconds. Sometimes it's 7. Sometimes it's 20. So in our heads, we're reacting to every mistake and we're counting mistakes in our heads. But that's not what really matters. What matters is which mistakes are going to cost you real time.
Zhilkan, as you can see, did the same setup, just did a little bit speedier there, as you might expect with the PB difference here. But in race situation, making sure you get it is worth the extra time, I think.
Especially in a no reset. This isn't a live time attack, so you could see a difference in strategy where it makes sense to maybe take an extra second here or there, especially if you think of yourself as the favorite, because maybe you're just trying to avoid major mistakes.
Zhilkan getting his Owless Star with the triple jump. Sunnard getting the thwomp whip. We won't see the thwomp from Zhilkan. Another route difference here.
Thwomp goes pretty straightforward. I think I've yet to see a runner really mess up the thwomp. That one's pretty straightforward. There was one that kind of came close, and my heart stopped beating because you don't see that much. But technically, almost every star here can be messed up and will be messed up at some point. But that is maybe the lowest risk one.
Yeah, that's probably, let's see, what's the power rankings of easiest stars in 16 star? I would say, well,
That's up
does
there.
Toad doesn't count, right? Toad doesn't count. He's
You
out.
could
He just
punch
gives you
him
the
by
star. Yeah,
accident, you know.
that's
I mean,
true.
you can mess up. It's just like a 2-second mistake, right?
Yes, yes. Sunnard here working on tower. I guess the top of the pyramid star is pretty easy. Wild Blue is pretty easy. That's got to be the top 3, I would think. But I'm open for suggestions there. Chat, please let me know if I'm saying something ridiculous.
Yeah, that's just a preliminary list, you know. Chat's always got something. Don't
We
worry.
can make a 20-minute YouTube video about this, I'm sure.
Yeah. Easiest 16 star. How about this? The 20 easiest stars in 16 stars. There we
Yeah,
go.
you won't believe.
You won't
It's number
believe.
7.
These 16 weird tricks. Bowser hates him, etc.
Zhilkan. Oh, Zhilkan having the first little bit of adversity here, missing on that.
Oh, and he
he
takes
takes
the
the
death.
death. Sunnard
loo-
fans rejoicing.
Wow. So I kind of figured after he messed up the bomb, he kind of hooked to the right, and I thought, is he going to try to go... Is he going to switch stars up here in the middle? And then he kind of, I think he was indecisive maybe, or maybe, I don't know. I can't tell what was going through his mind at the time, but he definitely wasn't trying to take a death there, and you saw his head go down, and that's the kind of thing you'd expect in a possible Sunnard upset.
Yep, that's what you need to have. He does get on the second try, I believe. I called too early. I didn't. Yep, I didn't. You have a little more wiggle room than you think there.
Yeah.
Not too much, but you do have some more wiggle room to keep that movement going up the pyramid. He does get it there, so that was some time lost for Zhilkan. Sunnard needs that to have a chance in this one. He needs to keep playing smoothly here. Hasn't been too many mistakes from Sunnard either, so as long as he stays away from the big mistakes, that will be good. You know, definitely heighten his chances here.
Yeah. Not going to go Shy Guy-less, and I don't think he needs to. Maybe a little chastened by the previous mistake, playing it safe. That works. A good way to think about it, actually, you're right. Sunnard hasn't made many mistakes. It's just that we kept talking about Zhilkan was doing this or that a little bit quicker. Obviously, LBLJs. The movement was really good in the Dark World. Stuff like that, right? But a good way to think about it is that when he died there, he gave almost all those back. He gave about 15 seconds back. So the marginal kind of extra little time that he built up, that death gives back and puts them on something, let's say, close to even footing.
Zhilkan does pick up that star. I think one of the easiest stars for sure, top of the pyramid. Now Sunnard's get a chance at the Dark World red stars here. And I think you're right here. If you watch the movement here, the movement how runners attack this level is all different. There's many different ways to attack this. You can do a rollout onto that box that Sunnard was just on. Let's see what kind of cycle he gets here.
It's not just
Really
that
cool.
there's a million decisions. It's that every little decision could be done slightly faster, slightly more aggressive. Every turn, you can see this. Look, every turn can be taken a little bit tighter from Sunnard there if they want, or they can kind of play it safe and give up a fraction of a second here or there. So when you see a player moving through this, you're actually seeing hundreds of little decisions about how aggressive to be at each turn, each jump. So it's usually a really good shorthand for their confidence, and a runner's confidence is a really good shorthand for their skill.
Yep, that's a good way to put it there. And
it looks pretty good, actually. That was actually very smooth, I thought.
Zhilkan here coming for side hop, triple jump, right on the edge of that thing there. Looks like no issue, and it isn't. Sunnard's first chance to throw Bowser into a bomb. Want to stay away. Got to stay away from misses here.
Oop.
A bit of little uncertainty there with the random speed kick. Didn't quite get it there. A little bit tap in here though for par.
Yeah.
And there it is.
You miss that, you hang up your cleats and go home.
Yeah.
Though we've seen it.
Yep, we definitely have seen it. Little booty burn from Zhilkan.
Without the jump, though.
Yep, safe place there to do that. He's in. Do we see lava boost? We don't. We got an elevator boost here.
A little safer, but high percentage, and I think you'll take that still. You probably need a few more mistakes before Zhilkan is going to think they have to take chances.
Yeah,
is what I think. Yeah. This is not about your time. This is about your time relative to your opponent. So it does pay to kind of make a little bit of a prediction about what kind of number you think they're going to be capable of throwing up and to adjust your play accordingly. Let's say that's one of the easier ones right there.
That's a good point.
Out the list.
That could be the top 5. The list is coming together here.
Our list is up to 5. You mentioned the first 3. You had the 4th a little earlier. We've got 5. We're just gonna do this live. Let's.
Yeah.
This doesn't need any editing afterwards.
Going right to YouTube. Hi YouTube. This is gonna be in there.
Smash that like button, comment and subscribe, etc.
Here we go. Zhilkan entering Hazy Maze Cave. Let's see what kind of strats we see in here from him. few different ways to go about this, for sure. None of the stars in here would ever make any sort of list of easiest, as you can see now. And Zhilkan might take a fall, and he does! Not how the first game was written up in his pre-game ritual here. It's coming together. Few deaths now. This is what Sunnard fans, this is what you're looking for, though. And Sunnard has to keep it consistent, though. Got to keep it going, Sunnard. No big mistakes.
I kind of hate to write the narrative as it's happening, although that's kind of our job, come to think of it. But so far, it really looks like Zhilkan a little quicker at almost everything, but then the big bad death, that cost you 15 seconds, wipes out those gains.
It has an easy backup here, but again, not a smooth star there. He doesn't know. I say it was smooth. The backup did not happen. He can make it up there with some effort.
He has to. This is really brutal. We're giving back so much. Are we even ahead now? Like, I know we are. Look at that, 12. Look at that.
Woo! I'm not ready to say the the M word yet, but we're getting close to that Mario something down. I'm not going to call it yet, though. Zhilkan, and he saves and quits. This is a nightmare. The Mario meltdown is real now. I have to say it.
Wait a second. There's no way that makes sense strategically, though, right?
No, that was an accident. That was 100%.
Oh my God!
He
accidentally reset? That's massive.
Menuing error there. Zhilkan clearly shaken right now. We are in the midst of a meltdown. Now, how fast can we shake it off? That's the question.
I mean, you need so much help from Sunnard now. This is almost practice. I think you're kind of spotting your opponent 1-0, aren't you? Here almost.
No. It's still very in reach here. Now look where they are now. They're very much closer. It's definitely not over, but it's definitely took some time. Picking up the Toad Star. Now he's laughing about it. Maybe he's avoiding tilt from laughing at himself, because that was definitely not something you ever want to do. I mean, just a very big mistake to make there. I have seen it a few times, though, in this tournament. Wow. It happens. You're trying to push those buttons as fast as you can, and, you push down, you're there. So Sunnard here going good RNG on those boulders for Sunnard. Gonna make a quick pickup here. No problem.
There we go. Oh, okay. Well, here's the thing now. Now you kind of have to take some chances.
Yes, you'd think so. I mean, Zhilkan, most runners do have the other runners stream up there, so I would guess he knows where he's at now. No messing around now. But, of course, we have to do... Sunnard,
there we go.
Slippery bunny there for a second. Sunnard backed it up well, though. So now you see the difference, though. Now it doesn't matter. All the nonsense, all the different route differences that happened before this, they're all gone now. Now this is real life. This is the difference.
Well, so I was going to say, you're still waiting for Nips, and you're waiting for BLJs. So we're through one of them, or just about one of them right here. Sunnard looking, you could tell, this is a high skill level player. Like, these aren't giving him too much trouble. There are still a few places Zhilkan can make this up without something like a big bad death, but we're running out of chances.
Yeah, all right, he's a very smooth grab there. Sunnard not going for chip there. Chip clip there. They're going to just swim his way and see if he goes front sub or back sub. That's a big difference. You can make, doesn't make a big difference in time, of course, but going to the front sub is a little bit more advanced of a strat. Saves a bit of time.
Yeah, just a couple seconds. That's one of the reasons it's a good shorthand, too, is because it's not a huge game. So you got to be pretty confident you're going to usually hit it.
Yep, Sunnard says, nope, no, not interested. I got the lead right now. I'm going to keep it that way. Going to the back.
That's fair.
All right, so let's see what Zhilkan does here. Chip, not interested in chip clip either. Not sure if they do that normally. They might not. It's not something everyone even attempts.
Yeah.
If you don't miss it, it does hurt if you miss it.
And players who can do it, big favorites don't necessarily do it reliably. I mean, it's better suited to other formats like a live time attack than it is to this one.
All right, so Fire Sea. I think if you said, hey, Sunnard, we'll give you the lead going into Fire Sea, he'd be very happy with that situation. He's in it now. Zhilkan does backs up as well. So we're going to see if he can keep this going. There's no big mistakes, and it should be a one-game lead for Sunnard. A lot of time left, though. A lot of time left.
That difference in grabbing that 16th star was almost exactly 30 seconds between the two of them. That's the margin we're dealing with.
And we know those 3 letters that are coming that you mentioned earlier are coming, so that's the great equalizer in a lot of cases. So it's 14 minutes has already passed, but
misses the
Bloomberg twice.
Ooh.
He's up.
Just a second, just heard a second, but hey, 29, 28, and you can see Zhilkan moving a little quicker. Maybe it's 27, 26 now. It's coming down.
Yep, here we go. So obviously do not want to miss a throw here. This is the most painful Bowser to miss a throw on. Let's see if he can make this happen. Taking his time here. Extra swing for safety, maybe. Nope. He throws it there, and he's in. And he's see the difference now. Zhilkan now entering the pipe. So a Bowser fight separating our runners here. The BLJs are looming ominously in the horizon.
Yes, they are in the same room, so to speak.
Yes.
Now they're not.
So we're going to see how fast Sunnard can take care of this. There's one stat I wish we could track, and that is average time it takes to hit the BLJs. I think that'd be a really interesting stat to have that we can kind of reference because, you know, as they are, we do talk about them in a very truthful way. You never know what's going to happen. But it'd be nice to have a little bit more context of, well, we don't know what's going to happen, but Sunnard historically has made it happen in this much time, you know, or something like that. That'd be pretty cool.
The gap on the Substar was almost exactly 30. It's down to about 25 now, based on when Bowser faded away into nothingness. So Zhilkan made up 4 or 5 seconds already, just from the platforming.
So here we go. All right, Sunnard in there.
There it is. That's huge.
You got to be happy with that. Very happy with that, I would say.
Yes.
Can't complain about that. And now the second attempt's coming up here. Zhilkan is seemingly closing the gap here. In not very noticeable ways, but it seems like he's cut off a lot of time here.
Yes.
I mean, that's just me, though.
There we go. There's Sunnard. He'll take that, too. And now you just need to avoid major platforming mistakes here at the end, or maybe a Bowser miss, something really dramatic. That was huge. That might have been Zhilkan's last best chance. Spoke too soon. Oh, wow.
He's in. Okay, Zhilkan's in. I mean, that's what he has to make happen. And it's going to come down to the big mistake. I think if Sunnard can avoid the big mistake, it should be in the back, right? I mean, it is. I mean, let's call a spade, but that's the problem. Avoiding the big mistake in the hardest level in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, these are two very good runners. You know, we're not in the group stages anymore, so I'd be a little surprised if we see a massive mistake. I think, you know, BLJs were definitely the most likely place for that to happen. We've seen crazier things, but Sunnard here, if they just avoid major mistakes, that's going to be enough. But Zhilkan is definitely making up a second here, a second there, almost everywhere they go.
Yes. You can see that happen. Sunnard in the pipe now, 3 throws away from game number 1. And he just got to hit it. Just can't miss a throw. Now, this is the hardest time not to miss a throw, though. We all know that. Pressure is on right now. 3 bombs away.
It's down to 15 seconds based on the pipe entry.
One got bought by Bowser. Not a big deal, but a deal.
One miss will be one, maybe 2. It might take 2 misses is the problem.
1 throw away now. Zhilkan misses a throw, too. He gets threw away 1 throw. Oh, no,
and
it would have mattered, too.
Oh, my God. It would have mattered. If Zhilkan had hit that, it would be neck and neck. It'd be seconds apart. There, he got that.
Sunnard got the 3rd throw, too. Seal up the first game. It would have been interesting if Zhilkan did miss that throw. I'm not sure he missed another throw as well. But, I mean, the story of game number 1, when you have a Mario meltdown, bad things happen, and Zhilkan had the definition of a Mario meltdown there.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was. Let's say, let me look at these numbers. That was the difference. Look at this. It's going to be, what, 13 seconds?
Something like that. Sunnard. Bringing it
more like
here
17 or 18, yeah.
in game number 1. And that is what upsets are made of, right? The favorite here, not playing the best first game they've ever had. Quite a few mistakes, 2 deaths. You know, so we're going to see. Obviously, for the commentators, we're hoping for a Zhilkan turnaround so we can get that epic game number 3. But you never know. Zhilkan's head has got to be filled with questions now.
Yeah, but he did play really well after that, too, after that little meltdown. Like, as I mentioned, every time I looked at even, like, just one little area, he was making up 2 or 3 seconds. He, like, not even spread out over a long period of time. It's kind of nuts. Yeah,
this is when you look at, if you really get deep into this and look at the differences, and you can see what makes the, you know, people have lower PBs than other people, is just the details, right? It's all about the details, and speed kicking when you got a speed kick, and taking straight lines instead of curved lines. It's just, you know, it's the whole, you can, people have better times. If you really analyze it, it's easy to find where they gain those times.
Now you can see Sunnard is either practicing or starting, and Zhilkan hasn't yet. I don't know if they need to
have some fun.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, here, remember, he missed this jump the first time earlier, so he's back practicing the very thing he missed early in the previous run. And
yeah,
got
probably
it.
smart thing to do.
Yeah, there we go.
Wants to feel better about it for game number 2. Zhilkan, on the other hand, is ready to roll. Wanting to wash that nasty taste out of the mouth of game number 2. Game number 1, excuse me.
I mean, he was 30 seconds down when they both got the Substar, and he finished like 20 or 21. I guess that clock says 23. I don't know. He also was kind of like lackadaisical at the end there, I think, because he knew he
Yeah.
had lost it. But you throw that. If he doesn't miss that throw, I mean, he would have made up what 12 or 13 seconds just in the last couple of areas. Like that's a lot.
So that's, I mean, that's the blueprint is set now, really. I mean, Sunnard, but you got to be feeling more confident. Maybe Sunnard can put a better time up this time. But Zhilkan clearly showing us why he has a better PB, but doesn't mean anything if you make the big mistakes. That's what he's got to avoid game number 2, as you always do. Not saying anything groundbreaking there, but...
Well, I mean, it helps to be reminded of it. I mean, he made 3 major mistakes, and I think it's fair. And it would have been neck and neck if he'd only made 2. And if he only made 1, he would have won with room to spare. So that's literally all he has to do is avoid major mistakes. He can even afford to probably make 1 or 2 if Sunnard throws up a similar number. And of course, he could throw up a lower one. But I will say that whole thing where you, in one of these races, put up a time that's about a minute behind your personal best, that actually seems to hold. When the previous match we did, that's kind of the same thing that happened in the first match, I think the underdog put up a time about a minute slower. That seems to be like a normal margin, right?
Yep, I think that's fair to say, yeah.
Because that's like the variation you're working with. The personal best gives you their range, their potential, but it can easily be a minute or 2 higher in a random match.
Yeah, in a race situation, for sure. I think probably a minute above your PB is a good, hey, I played okay feeling, right?
Yeah,
if you pull
exactly.
That off. Didn't play amazing, but I played okay. Yeah.
If you force me to pick like a guess for anyone's first run, I'll take their PB and I'll add a minute and say it's somewhere around there. Yeah.
That's probably fine. Yeah, we could actually get the stats on that. As we see, Lakitu Skip was successful for both runners first time, second time as well. In the playoffs, maybe we won't see any misses of Lakitu Skip. That'd be pretty interesting to track.
Yeah, we saw it last time, and I think we're at the point where those are going to get really rare.
And Zhilkan had a beautiful LBLJ in game number 1. Game number 2, let's see if we can match that.
This one's not as beautiful. Let's say this is LBLJ has a nice personality.
It gets the job done in the end.
There we go.
And Sunnard missed bomb skip in the game number 1, but he doesn't in game number 2. So a good start for both runners here.
Yeah, again, if you're Zhilkan, you're sitting there thinking, wow, I made 3 massive mistakes and did not get whooped. I lost by 20 or whatever. So I know my game is good enough here, unless Sunnard plays much better. So just avoid the massive mistakes.
Yeah, that's what your mindset's got to be, right? Like, I made huge mistakes in the first game. Just don't do that again. And it's definitely easier said than done, though.
Just don't do that again. Just go faster. I mean, no, I'm teasing, but like I'm saying the exact same thing. Of course, yes, that really is that simple. I mean, look, there are runs sometimes where you're like, I need to take chances, I need to play my best game, and there's others where you're like, I don't need to do that. Just don't melt down. Well, particularly, die twice and then melt down. Don't do any of that. But if you're gonna die even a couple of times, you'll be fine as long as you keep your cool.
Sunnard double mistake here on the Atlas double fall. This is what he practiced right before the match started.
Yep.
If my memory serves. Another. Getting into some serious time loss now in there. Attempt number 4. Not what you want to do on Atlas. He'd be much better just to grab that Al and fall off him.
Yep. Well, if only you knew, right? But you're right. Yep. He missed it in the first match. Went back into practice, nailed the first one in practice, then missed the second. That's the one he went out on. Personally, superstitiously, psychologically, I always like to end on a good note whenever possible. And in that case, you could see all the misses coming during the actual match, even worse. And looks, that misses the wall kick too, and you do not see that very often. So maybe a little frustrated over there right now.
Yep. Wonder where Sunnard's head is at now. Not the best start to game number 2. Zhilkan looking pretty focused here in game number 1. Nothing to speak of in terms of errors so far. But we are only 3.5 minutes into this one.
Well, where his head at might be that he does have some margin now. We talked about how this match is, double elimination, so nobody's going home after this. That's basically what happens when you win the first game in a best of 3. It's double elimination now. You can afford to lose one.
Sunnard again with some issues here on his setup for Candleless.
Oh dear.
Get that texture with the setup. He takes his time on this one for sure. If you get it, it works, and there it is.
Yeah, but we're just seeing a lot of like small and moderate size mistakes, and they're all kind of happening in a row. And that's the thing. This can spiral out of control.
Yeah. Time is leaking here. The lead is growing as we speak here. Zhilkan, the first try Owless. Sunnard is losing time to come back here. I know it sounds too early to say that, but I don't think it is.
No, yeah, certainly. I mean, you're getting to the point where suddenly Zhilkan could die a couple times again if they don't make any other mistakes between, and they're just not. I mean, the mistakes are all or nothing. Well, Zhilkan with a little issue there too. Not as smooth as could be, but that's the thing. Fail gracefully. You know, fail so that it's a 1 or 2 second reset. Look at the sync.
If only the stars were the same. And one
Yeah,
of them
I
wasn't
was gonna
getting out of
say.
here. Oh, bonk on
Yeah.
the steps. That's a rarity. Right onto the step bonk.
But the only danger there is psychological because it's a second.
yeah. It just feels bad. I know the
Exactly,
bonk
though,
shame.
right? But, like, I mean, do you feel worse if you lose a second 5 times than if you die once and lose 15 seconds, right? One might take more of a psychological toll, but not as much of a toll on the clock.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
It's very complicated.
Oh, Zhilkan, another bonk. We're getting bonk city here. Sunnard just had one. There's a lot of bonks going on right now. Sunnard in the chat saying up, wondering what's happening here with his own gameplay. Zhilkan had a lot of trouble here with this star. Let's see, Eddie's not doing it again.
Uh-oh, yep. Blew up in his face, literally, figuratively, all of it. And he's taking a lot of bonks. Like, if this were a football game, he would have to come out. They'd be throwing the little light in his eyes or the pupils dilated. He's got concussion symptoms.
Picks up the backup. Star in the pyramid here. Now there's no easy backup, though, if he misses this time. Let's see what he can do.
Okay, this is the number 6 easiest right here. We're going to keep with the list.
Okay.
With the penguin. Yeah, the penguin.
Penguin give back? Okay.
Yeah, let's say 6. It could be 7th, but we're putting them in order because we don't want to edit this. 6th.
Yeah.
There we go.
Also, thanks to our sponsor, Squarespace. We don't edit it.
Are they sponsoring Little League teams yet? They gotta.
They should be.
They should be. I would say Nebula Stream, Curiosity Stream, all that. Oh yeah, all of it. 3 companies responsible for advertising on all of the internet. I'm pretty sure.
Zhilkan here making no problem with the Klepto Bop, picking up that star, and the lead here is. Looks different. You know, Sunnard has more stars, of course, so it looks like he might be in the lead, but he is definitely not. He's definitely behind it by, I'm not sure how much.
Yeah, they make our job really hard when they do the stars in completely different orders because they all take different amounts of time. And yeah, it is 16 star, but you know, you can get there any way you want. You can do the easy ones first, you can do the hard ones first. There are optimal strategies, and then there's just things that make you comfortable. All that matters is where you end up. So we're pretty sure Zhilkan's ahead, and probably by more than a little.
Yeah. Oh, no! Booty burn there! Bully having some fun with Mario here. Zhilkan has to, you know, do it the old-fashioned way, kicking him in the head, and Bully's having fun too! Does finally make it happen. That was not a pretty star there in any way. That was a full boxing match. You don't normally want to see a full fight happen there, but he did.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's either you want an instant knockout, and it turns into like a bar brawl. And that's not good.
Both throwing haymakers there for a moment. That was fun. Usually Bully just gets ground pounded into the lava, but that was some fun here. Let's see if Zhilkan turned around with his side hop here. Well, edge grab. Maybe Zhilkan, the confident smoothness he started in game number 2 seems to have left a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he can afford to do those sorts of things. Again, he's made a lot of little errors. It's been the opposite of the previous game, where it was really good movement punctuated by massive errors that cost him a lot of time. Now we're seeing tons of little errors that aren't adding up to very much. So I think actually this is better, even though it might feel worse.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Being careful with that menu, of course. He did save and quit in game number 1, the nightmare scenario. It's that lava boost easily on the elevator here.
Now chat coming in with the synonyms for fights. Slobber knocker's a good one, yeah. How about
that's a great one there.
Donnybrook, nice old-fashioned one. Fisticuffs.
Ooh. Writing all these down.
Yeah, any good match is also known as a barn burner.
Yep. Okay.
I'm guessing that's like a high school football thing. Probably something they literally did after a good high school football game, I would think.
Burn the barn. Slobber knocker seems to be the fan favorite so far. If we can come up with anything else, get those thesauruses rolling.
Nobody likes Donnybrook? Donnybrooke's great.
Donnybrook is great, but then I think
Super
like most
old.
of the audience is like, is that really mean what that means? I don't know.
Yeah, Slobberknocker has a kind of onomatopoeia thing to it, which is like, you don't have to hear that word to know what it means.
Uh-huh.
You can figure it out from context, yeah.
All right, Hazy Maze Cave now for Zhilkan. Had some trouble with the first star. The triple jump on that box is very difficult, and he showed why it is difficult, falling a few times here. See if he can make it happen in game number 2.
I like the way you spin that. He showed why it's difficult. He prided us with a useful example of how difficult this is by failing.
And he did it again in game number 2, not making it happen. Seems inquisitive about why that happened. And here's the backup. He missed the island in game number 1. Hits it here.
I like seeing the slight differences in camera angle. You can see the red stars there, a little different from Sunnard. I feel like the tippy-top runners, they almost all, with very few exceptions, seem to have similar camera angles for some of those stars. But as you go down just a little bit, and I really just a little bit, these are excellent PBs for both players still, you see a little more variation in the camera positioning.
That's why, the reason for that is in emulators, there's no lag reduction, right? You don't have to worry about it. So that's why some people call this a little bit of the, I don't want to use any derogatory term here, but some people might say the console is a more skillful way to play the game. I don't agree with those people, but some people say that because you have to worry about the camera angles a lot more. But just interesting difference there. I don't agree with that.
Be very careful now. You're going to start a Slobberknocker.
Yeah, I don't want to start any shindigs.
No. Be very careful.
Yeah.
See, now, it's even won me over now. See, now even I'm using it.
And we agree with you, Arrow Tees. Nice to hear you. Some people do say that. I don't agree with them, but they do say that. Long jump in for Zhilkan. Let's see what kind of boulder RNG he gets here. Boulders can go wherever they want, and they were pretty kind to him there. Sunnard with the bunker.
Yeah, just a little bit, and you can see now. Now you see that difference manifest. He was up 2 stars early. He's down 2 now, even though they look like they're in the same place, and that's because he took some of the kind of quicker stars earlier. Zhilkan took some of the longer ones, a little more of a time investment up front, and now you see that difference manifesting in the end game.
Yep. Zhilkan with another smooth mips grab. Sunnard had a little bit of difficulty here, so let's see if... Oh, he has to go through Hazy Maze Cave one more time, excuse me. And that's the difference here in this race. Quick star, though. Getting that emergency exit. And now he'll be ready to get that rabbit.
And look, two quick stars for Sunnard. So now it looks tied again, right? Because those were 2 quick stars. But there is a significant amount of difference here. It's probably 30 to 40 seconds, I would say, at least.
Ooh, Sunnard going with the punch. So it's after the difficulty in game number 1, grabbing it with the slide grab. Went for the punch in game number 2 and did get it. A little bit of a save there. Look at that. Now, let's see what I started. I did not want this to happen. I did not want any Donnybrooks in the chat, but emulator and console are both very great ways to play this game.
You knew what you were doing. This is hashtag engagement. It doesn't matter if you're mad or happy, as long as you're typing things, the internet loves it.
I had to get the per minute chat up, so yeah. Started Donnybook in the chat and it happens. That's what I was doing. No, I was not doing it.
may it please the algorithm.
Yeah. All right, Zhilkan in Fire Sea now. Remember, in game number 1, he was already behind by a good margin at this point. Now he has a comfortable lead.
Yeah, it's 38 seconds by my count. Right around the point where you would chip clip or not was about 38 seconds.
All right, so Sunnard has a lot of work cut out for him here. Zhilkan needs to fail a few times here, I would think. But it looks like we might get a game number 3 here without any serious Mario meltdowns.
Oh, there's one!
It's the start of a good meltdown.
That's a good 6 or 7 seconds. There we go. We're down to about 30, maybe. Oh, but here's the thing. He can't afford another loss. You know, one more, and it's not just a loss, but a sweep. Yes. So he's got a sizable lead, sure, but he's thinking about those mistakes, I'm sure, and he's realizing he can't afford to do it again.
Sunnard has been okay so far in this Fire Sea. Catching up a bit of time, you'd think, at least a few seconds. Especially with that bond from Zhilkan.
Yeah. Oh, if you don't make up at least 6 or 7, that's a huge missed opportunity.
Ball kick and up. Oh, jump dive in on the platform.
can see Sunnard taking that a little bit slower. This is what I'm talking about. Even if you don't make a mistake, you can take things more or less aggressively around each choice, and Sunnard taking them a little less aggressively.
I think this is almost the exact difference we had in game number 1. Switched, right? Like the Bowser fight was in between them, so...
Yeah, we're in the 30-second range. That one ended closer to 20-something because Zhilkan was just making up time all the way down the stretch, but this is the other way around and still around 30.
Throw from Sunnard. And Zhilkan made pretty quick work of BLJs in game number 1. Let's see if he can make it happen again. Always with an opportunity to lose a lot of time here. No matter how good you feel you might be doing it, but Zhilkan looks like he is through again, and he is. Very good job on those. Game number 1 and 2.
That's a big deal because the deficit is still, it looks like, let me see, almost, no, yeah, still about 30 between the two of them. A little over, it's actually 35, so Sunnard's made it up a few seconds here off that that mistake Zhilkan had, but not nearly enough. You're still looking at a death and a miss at minimum, and maybe more than that. To even make it close. So Zhilkan, significant lead right now, yeah.
Opportunity is there. That's the thing about in the sky, where if you fall, it does hurt a lot in time loss. So the opportunity is there for a big failure, but we'll see. Zhilkan okay so far. And Sunnard here setting up his BLJs.
It's a good point. There's a lot of height here. If you fall right here, it is a good 10 or 12, I would say at least. Right as I say it. Ooh, boy.
Standing left side again, proving difficult.
But he's not letting himself fall. You know, you can see he's not letting himself fall all the way. He's not letting it turn into disaster. But he is going to go much slower route here.
Yeah, we're going to lands we never want to go to.
This is only slightly better than the fall at this point, but it is better, and you do still have this time, but oh boy, you just gave maybe a third of it right back.
Yep, he does get there now. Sunnard, if he plays clean the rest of the way, Sunnard going left side, and he gets there, okay.
Oh, that's what you needed. You had to cash that mistake in by nailing it, and he did. And now we could be just a miss away from a very close match.
Oh, that Goomba getting in the way a little bit here, but he is in as well. First throw, a little limp. It is!
It's a miss!
That's the tap in, though. Doesn't lose too much time.
Oh, boy.
That. All right, we're getting real close now.
One more miss, and that could do it. One more now. Suddenly, all that margin is gone.
Second throw does hit. Zhilkan had a few misses in game number 1, too. Sunnard did get a miss, though, on his side.
Oh, that's going to do it. Oh, but so did Zhilkan! Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Who wants to win this?
Sunnard hits his second. Zhilkan, this throw matters a lot. And it's true right down the middle of the plate there. A lot tighter than Zhilkan would have liked. With the lead he had, Sunnard takes a fall to symbolize the end of this one. And that will do. We are tied at 1. What looked like such a sure win for Zhilkan proved to be a little bit of a slippery fish to grab in the end, but he did get there, and we are tied at 1 for going into game number 3.
Wow, it was a lot closer than it should have been. That was a 40-second lead at around 16 stars, and it shrunk down to about 30 seconds. And by the end, I think one fewer miss from Sunnard there. Obviously, the death that followed was just, a result of that. It was already over. It would have been, I don't know, what would the margin have been? 2 seconds maybe? I think Zhilkan still might have snuck it out, but it would have been a real nail-biter.
So Zhilkan now stays alive. He had to have that one, and he did. And we are here for game number 3. Yesterday had this crazy game, too, that went to game number 3 with a huge upset in the console side of things. That was a very hype race yesterday. And we might have the opportunity for that as well. Going to game number 3 for a chance with an upset. Game 3 for all the marbles here. And what are the differences here? I think, again, this is a game where both players probably don't feel they played as well as they could. I mean, just not even average run for both of them, I would say. Below average for both of them. A lot of bonks from Sunnard's side. The fall, a few missed Bowser throws. Zhilkan, too. Very few sloppy stars in there, for sure. Again, the missed throws on Bowser. A lot of things to improve for game number 3.
Yeah, I mean, Zhilkan has made multiple significant mistakes in both of them, and in the second run he added a bunch of smaller ones too, but the mistakes weren't as big. The big ones weren't as big this time. Didn't have multiple deaths, didn't have the reset, and you can see the 17-12 higher than what won the first time. Sunnard, let's be charitable, obviously that death probably doesn't happen if they don't miss and know they're going to lose anyway, so their numbers about mid-17s both times then. So pretty similar, not really much improvement, but not really any worse. It's just that Zhilkan made maybe one big mistake fewer, and that's enough. And it's just what we talked about after that first game. Make one fewer big mistake and you win, and that's exactly what happened.
Let's see what Zhilkan chooses to practice here. He's going to go for the triple jump? Yeah, I think he is. Because that is the thing he's messed up on both games. And let's see. Oh, see, there it is. Proven to be a little bit of a tough star here today.
Yeah.
This is one of the tougher ones.
Sunnard's on a date, I think? Okay.
Revitalizing the spirits before.
Oh, I don't like the look of those chaperones, though. I don't think you need 2, do you? That seems like a bit much.
They want to get involved.
Hey, kiss your goodnight. There we go. Guess it went well.
Oh, Zhilkan here. Don't want to make this storyline too deep, but having difficulty here in practice as well. Oh, wow. This is not a way to build confidence going into game 3.
No, it isn't.
Miss it repeatedly. Okay, there's a successful one.
Guess where Sunnard is? It's the same thing they practiced after the first one. Come on, let's go. Yeah, There we go.
I think about that. That is a big miss he had. That took 4 attempts. So I mean, that's some time there for sure. Yeah, so there we go. Adam Ferrari coming in hot. Best joke of the match so far. I know why they need 2 Toads track. One person needs to hold the camera. One person has to be the director.
This almost sounds like a joke. How many toads do you need to screw in a light bulb kind of thing?
Oh, I wouldn't use that verb.
Yeah.
He went there, and we are off for game number 3. And the verb I will use for this one is... I shouldn't have said verb. I'm saying height.
You really boxed yourself in there.
Man, what can I say?
I just use box as a verb, so there we go. Yeah.
Screw, box, all kinds of words being thrown around here.
All kinds.
But no matter what we're going here, it's going to be game number 3, and that's the best word of all, because this game 3 is important. This is for all the marbles, all the coins, all the princesses, all the what?
all the slobber knockers, all the light bulbs, all the marbles, all the everything. The end of that joke, by the way, is you need 2 toads to screw in a light bulb, one to screw it in, and the other one to talk to you annoyingly and ruin your personal best.
There you go. And one to
live comedy, everybody.
I'll stop. Yep, I'll stop. I'll stop this right now. Putting a ban on that. Ban hammer anyone that continues that joke, including people in the booth. And we are off here. Game number 3 has started, and we are gonna have fun here. Zhilkan, clearly the favorite, clearly capable of much more than he has shown today. Sunnard, the underdog, pulls out an epic game number 1 win. Clearly capable of more than he has shown today. Let's see if they can make it happen in game number 3.
It is best of 3. We're in the 3rd. Yeah, you know what that means. We like to see it. You don't see it very often. Normally when Run Runner is clearly better, they really do win 2-0 fairly often. That's not that rare. But in this case, those early mistakes from Zhilkan give Sunnard the first win. Second one was a lot closer, maybe, than it should have been, but that still counts. And none of it matters now. One race.
And who can eliminate more mistakes from the first 2 games? First challenge for Sunnard is probably going to be Owless. Remember, has had a lot of troubles there today. Zhilkan didn't have a lot of troubles in game number 2 at all, starting things off. Started with a great LBLJ. Let's see if he can do it here again.
The second run was not as great, and this one you could see a little more like the second than the first. Yep. But we'll take it.
Yep.
Somewhere between the 2.
Yeah. As long as you avoid, walking out of the castle and all that nonsense, it's always worth it. As long as it don't take too long, of course, but... And he's going to get those Dark World red coins here as Sunnard hits the bomb clip. And watch
the grace of the movement. Like it's just the reasons I don't say very much during these parts is because it's so fun to watch.
Yep. This is really, as Track said earlier, a place you can see how a player's playing, their skill level, their skill ceiling, what kind of cycles they're getting here. And that was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, but we've seen enough concussions. You just don't want to bonk your head on the skill ceiling.
Yeah. Good wall kicks there. Sunnard again had problems here. Let's see if he can make it happen. His nemesis here today has been this Owless. First try, and it's in.
All right. That's some confidence you can take forward with you.
Has to be feeling good there. That was a 4 attempter in game number 2. Got on the first try here. Feeling good.
Yeah, I think it was second or third in the first time, too. So this is the first time he's got it in one. And that is almost a miss from Zhilkan. You see his eyebrows go up like, oh boy. He thought for a second that he'd messed up early on, but he just got it. Bowser had to bounce first, though.
Yeah, hitbox gods were in his favor on that one. That was very close. As you can see, he was surprised. Sunnard coming in hot. First attempt. Candleless, too. Things are heating up.
You wouldn't think Bowser could bounce, but apparently anything can. I don't know if on this channel we want to use the phrase dead cat bounce, but that is a thing, and apparently Bowser, there's also a Bowser bounce.
So Sunnard here really coming in hot with no errors so far. Things that have taken him a few attempts are taken in one here. Wall kick as well, caused little problems in game number 2. Wild blue wall kick, not a problem. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the perfectly smooth version you're going to see from the absolute elites, but you will take that. We take those.
We're seeing two players that have now formed themselves into the best version they can be after 2 games. Looks like that so far.
That's what you're really talking about when someone's PB is a minute better than yours. You're basically saying they need to play a little below average and I need to play one of my best games. That's what you're actually asking for. When you phrase it that way, it doesn't sound too unlikely, but you only get one shot at it here.
Zhilkan did miss his texture setup there. Went for the backup. Wild blue is conveniently sitting there for you, but this time it will count. If he misses it, it'll hurt a little bit more.
And this is looking very tight so far. Sunnard is definitely looking better. Zhilkan, no major mistakes, but Sunnard playing well enough that that's not necessarily the difference anymore. If Sunnard can string together his best run of the day, maybe a sub 17, oh boy, things could get very interesting.
Zhilkan did pick it up here. There was a little bit of hype on that moment right there. If he missed that, that would have been a little bit of a bop there, but he did get a second attempt. And like you said here, this is 2 players not quite playing perfectly, but playing much better than they were in game 1 or 2 so far.
Who's going to blink first? Where's the first significant mistake going to come from? We haven't had one yet. We're almost 5 minutes in, and I feel like there are no significant mistakes here.
Zhilkan triple jump, and he's in. Been very good with that so far. No issues for him on that one.
Yeah. This is what you want. You want their best runs of the day to be at the end like this. You want to see them play their way into shape. You want to see the only match that matters in a best of 3 where both players are looking their best, and that is absolutely what happened here. I think they've been kind of ironed out the flaws a little bit, ironed out the wrinkles, and they are running their best right now.
I could agree with that. Warm-up is the key. Sometimes it takes playing under pressure warm-up to get you fully warmed up. That might be the case here. Sunnard giving back the Penguin as Zhilkan enters. Shifting sand land. Had some issues here with this first one, with the pillarless. But
Uh-oh.
can he make
A little bit of throw there. Oh,
looks good now. That looks good. I think he's in. He is. First attempt in. Another improvement here for Zhilkan.
It was not smooth, but it was good enough, and you'll take it.
Anything that avoids you having to throw that bomb away and starting again, which you had to do both the first games, I believe.
Yeah, think of the environment, people. Don't waste bombs.
Sunnard having a bit of a hiccup, but he's okay. And by this point in game number 2, we already are feeling like, all right, Zhilkan has built up a significant lead. And he still has a lead now, but it's not significant as it was in game 2 for sure.
No, and it's not because he's playing way better than before, although he is playing his best right now. It's because Sunnard is absolutely playing their best run so far.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with that.
And that's what they need to do. Sunnard needs to be in the upper range of their likely outcomes. Zhilkan closer to the middle or bottom, depending on how good Sunnard is. That's kind of what you're looking for here, is the places where those curves overlap. You're going to have good runs, bad runs. You got your median run. Zhilkan needs to be around average or maybe a little below. Sunnard needs to be in the upper half of his curve of what he's capable of. But right now, I mean, he's, more than a third of a way through his run. And so far, no major errors. This is what you need.
Sunnard fans cannot be complaining so far. Their hero is giving them his best performance on this important game number 3. Bully had some problems last time. Let's see what Bully does on Zhilkan's side. He had some serious beef, but no nonsense this time. Zhilkan says, I don't want to have any sort of a fist fight with you.
No.
It's over quickly. Sadly, kind of. I kind of wanted to see that, to be honest, but it's okay.
Yeah, if this turns into Mario boxing, something's gone wrong.
For the meme, I wanted to see that.
God, you know what? For a second there, I'm sitting here thinking, is there a Mario boxing game? I don't even feel confident either way, because Mario's done just about everything. I don't think there is.
He takes to reffing boxing rather than boxing himself.
Right,
Punch-Out
right,
TV.
right.
So he stays
That's right.
with the mitts off. He chooses to judge
I mean,
that
it's a matter of time, right?
yeah, you know it's coming.
Yeah.
Zhilkan there, side hop, no issues. And no issues here for Sunnard on the Bowser fight either. Again, we're keeping this no big mistake runs going on both sides, I think. Safe to say.
Yeah, we're halfway done here, roughly, and both players looking really, really clean. But someone's gonna blink, though.
You'd think.
You'd think. Who's it gonna be?
So the next kind of interesting point for Zhilkan is coming up here after he enters Hazy Maze Cave. That triple jump on that box, getting that star down there on the island is going to be a tough one. He missed it in practice multiple times, missed it in game 1 and 2.
Yep. And if
But
you
we got
want to
one more
know what
star to him.
someone's worried about, what are they practicing, right? What's on their mind? That tells you so much that he went and practiced that between the second round here and the third.
Yep.
Because, even if we can see how good or bad they are at something, degrees of good, let's be honest. No, they're not really bad at anything here. This is very psychological. So what they think their problem area is kind of makes it so.
Yes, yep. And Sunnard already passed his practice point or his point of worry earlier in the run, so he's feeling good. Now Zhilkan's about to do it right now. Let's see, this is a big moment right here. Triple jump off the box. Definitely the toughest star in Hazy Maze Cave. And here it is. Triple jump here. So tight. He does hit it. There it is. First try, diving confidently down to that star. The first game didn't even hit the island there. Second game had to take the backup route there. And the third game, he makes it look like it's a piece of cake. So that is good. Zhilkan has to be feeling good right now.
Yep. I mean, this got a contrast with Sunnard, who practiced between rounds 1 and 2 and did even worse, unfortunately. But Zhilkan, in this case, practices something, does it well the first time, and this is the match you want it for. This is the part of the match, because this one is still quite close. So that is very, very big.
Sunnard did get side hop. Had a bit of a hiccup there, but I won't call that a big mistake. Sunnard has to keep it going here. Cannot have the big mistake. Has to keep his consistent play going. Definitely behind, but as we've seen, there's always chances to get back into things.
There's Toad with, I'm going to say, the 8th easiest star. We're getting there. We're getting close.
I thought we dropped him out of this top 10 because that's too easy.
Yeah, I guess it's too easy. But again, no editing. I want no editors. It's 8th, and besides, it'll just make people argue in the comments, which again we love.
Boulders being a bit unkind to Sunnard, making him run around there, but he gets the star.
Those mean sentient boulders.
Yes. Zhilkan has to grab the rabbit here. No issues so far. He goes for the slide strat. Nice, safe, and easy right in front of the door.
And I don't think these clips are going to give either runner much trouble. They haven't yet. They're kind of at the level with those PBs where you can tell this is the kind of thing they've mostly mastered. But the BLJs, I don't care who you are, sometimes they're going to get you.
Sunnard has to fight out of here. It does not fall. That's the most important thing.
Oh.
Can he get out of this? He can. Okay.
Just barely.
He already got the boulder star, so he can't go there.
Oh, and the pop. I hate to say, I think we might have to call this the first significant mistake. That was a good 6 or 7 seconds there, and I just don't know if you can afford it. You need Zhilkan to make a mistake.
Yes, Zhilkan not interested in chip clip though. Going to swim his way to the back sub. Sunnard definitely had his first mistake there. Not a hugest one. I would categorize that into a big mistake though, for sure. Got to grab the bunny here. Does a little earlier than you like, but he gets him. In the end, that's all that matters. You want to grab him right in front of that door. I mean, right in front of, perpendicular where that door is. You make a nice straight line to the clip, but
oh no,
there. Issues here as well. Now we're starting to.
Oh no, we were already down 30-something seconds, and I think we just gave him another 10 or 12.
Yeah, you can feel Zhilkan now pulling away a little bit.
Yeah, it's more like 45 or 50 now.
Sunnard couldn't keep up that consistency he had so far. In so much of the match in Game 3 he was playing very consistent. Now seems to you know, I don't want to say he's off the rails here, because definitely not off the rails, but the train is shaking a bit.
It's wobbling, yeah. Oh, man. That's a little rough. I mean, Zhilkan, because the movement has just been slightly better, even though neither runner had made a huge mistake, it was about 20 to 30 seconds there from just eyeballing it. And I think that's come close to doubling now, though. We are at the point now where you're looking at something big for Zhilkan again. And right now, you're just not seeing any indication that any significant mistake is coming, let alone more than one, which is probably what you would need. On the other hand, browser misses have been constant for both runners.
Yep. Bowser has been very difficult to throw into bombs today, and Sunnard fans are hoping we get a few misses here. He's got a nice lineup though here, very close, and he is true with that throw. Now we should say though, BLJs are coming, and also let's not forget the left side jump on that in the Dark World, Bowser in the Sky, has been a big point of contention here for Zhilkan. Had a lot of issues in game number 2 with that. Game number 1 wasn't smooth either, so another point to watch for coming up.
Yeah, you could certainly see that being a problem, but he just adds a second here, a second there, and then in addition with that those couple mistakes we saw from Sunnard, it's starting to get a little rough. You're getting to the point where you can afford quite a bit of that. We're so late in the run. Oh boy.
Just wait for the platform here. Zhilkan has had great BLJs so far. First attempt on both. If he does that again, the sun will be setting even further in Sunnard's chances to win here. Not sudden death, I should say. This is a loser's bracket, so he won't be done. Zhilkan again, making it look like it's never in doubt.
Yeah, and that was one of your best chances if you're Sunnard. This is the last one, probably. Nails it.
Dunk for emphasis there. That was pretty hype, and that might have been the door slamming shut on any chance for Sunnard. But we'll see. We had a few issues in Bowser in the Sky earlier.
Yeah, you're going to need 3 strikes to get out of this, I think, at this point. You're going to need a major fall, a major death. You're going to need a miss. And you can't make any significant mistakes yourself.
Zhilkan has come to play in game number 3. No nonsense. Here it is. Left side had some issues in game number 2. Game number 3, he does the walk. Oh, okay. Again with some issues here. This is the point he might want to practice. Yep. Does get it in attempt number 2. Nice and slow, but he has that kind of time now to take his time with every aspect of this.
Yeah, and now so close to completing the comeback, losing the first match, and then having to win the next 2 and pulling it out. That's what we're looking at here if we avoid multiple Bowser misses. Several, I would say, it would take.
Oh yeah. We'd have to have quite a few throws. Maybe the power running out of his console. A few things would have to happen now. And Zhilkan is not going to leave any question with the first throw. Perfect down the middle. Second throw, perfect again. Kind of symbolic here. First 2 runs, pretty shaky. Some bad throws, but in game number 3, was very confident. You see the head shake. He knows it. He brought his game in game number 3, and his game will take him to round number 2.
Yeah, it will. And not hugely surprising when we saw the way he lost in the first one with those major mistakes. You realize, okay, if he straightens this out just a little bit, he's going to be fine. He got better in the second round and then much better in the third. I would say probably avoided all major mistakes. And his movement was just so good throughout. And look at that, 20 seconds within his PB. Oh yeah, that's going to do it.
I didn't write it down, of course, but that's 2-minute improvement on game number 2, right? Around there?
Close to it. Yeah, it was mid-17s, yeah.
Sunnard going for right side there. I think he kind of know the outcome now. He hasn't went for right side yet in this matchup. Did not hit it, and he falls. But wow, Zhilkan, what a performance there. We saw what he could do. If he could bring all the heat, put it all together, you get a sub-16 run, which is a great run in this tournament. And it takes a good performance to beat that time.
And hats off to Sunnard, who went to the final game of the 3, and for the first 10 minutes was, almost neck and neck, was maybe just 10x seconds behind, sort of, something like that. So really gave Zhilkan all he could handle, but in the end, just a little too much. Sunnard, this showing us a character you pretty much never see in a 16-star run.
He wanted to take him with him. So we're losing this match, but you're coming with me.
You're coming with me. The guy's thinking, what do? I don't even show up in these broadcasts half the time.
Give it some time there, but there you go, guys. That will do it. Zhilkan is going to take round number 1. Sunnard will go to the loser's bracket. He's not done. He can come back in this thing, and that will do it. Let's see. Are they... in for interviews. We shall see. I'll let you know as soon as possible. We have a lot of other matches coming up today, though. At 3 o'clock, we have... Who is it? I should have this prepared. Track, did you have this prepared? 3 o'clock?
It's Man Mud and Flixer.
There you go.
And
Man
I think we
Mud
got Joey back on that one. That's a great name. Now I'm hungry. And then 4:30, Zeus VA, I guess is how you say it, versus Ray.
And we are talking about Zilkan. I'll take the first question. Zilkan, game number 1 and 2 were not so great, way under your potential. Game number 3 was great. What do you think?
Yeah, my game 1 was just a big meltdown, like every fucking word. Like after the second quit in agency, I was like, you know, I will just...
Yeah, second quit did happen, yep.
Yeah. I don't know, I was just too nervous to start doing LBLJ on a race, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Track.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that third run, so the first run, as you said, pretty much a disaster. It happens, right? Happens to the best of us. Second one, pretty good, although Sunnard almost caught up to you at the end. It was very close in the Bowser throws. But that third run, it seems like that's the one where everything finally came together for you.
Yeah, to be honest, like, although the beginning was kinda bad because it was like with a 450 worms or something like that, the basement was pretty much perfect. Like, gave me a lot of confidence, and I just wasn't nervous on the third race.
Yeah.
I feel like I was in the zone.
Yeah, it definitely showed it. I mean, it showed like you were in the zone because you were playing really great. Put a great time. Sub 16 is a great time in this tournament. So for Zilkan, for Warning Track, I'm LT Insider. Chat, you guys are legends as always. Stay tuned. We got another race coming up at 3 o'clock. Man Mud versus Flixer. Zilkan, good luck the rest of the way. Sunnard, GG's. And yeah, stay hype, guys.